The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, it's Ashley Koff, registered dietitian, CEO of the Better Nutrition Program, and I like to call myself your better health enabler. That's me today. That was not always me. You may have, if we've met before, which I hope so, or if we haven't met, and I'm hoping that we will get to know each other better, you will certainly at some point hear my story. And I'm not going to take a long time to explain it right now, but suffice to say, I was definitely like the clients, patients, and individuals that so many of you are working with. I was struggling to figure out why if I'm trying to eat perfectly and I'm exercising, why can't I get rid of my belly? Why am I having anxiety and panic attacks at night? Why am I not going to the bathroom and, going number two even for a whole week and, these sorts of things. And gosh, I tried every program, diet, everything out there. And more importantly, I also sought medical attention. And the medical attention, the advice that I got or the results were, hey, everything's good. Like you're good, you're healthy. But I knew I was not healthy. And although one said, maybe you're not so mentally healthy. So then I went to a therapist and and that was great. I love learning and exploring that piece, but it didn't help me get better. And I was so, as you can hear my voice, I was so frustrated. My rock bottom, really rock bottom, was a 7-day goat's milk cleanse where I drank 40 ounces of goat's milk each day because I had gone to a healer who told me that goat's milk was the perfect food and the only way that I could get rid of the worm that was going all throughout my intestines that I had acquired at age 15. Anyway, thank goodness that I met someone who introduced me to better nutrition and really about better assessment. And if you are like me in your personal story, and maybe that is what led you to get involved with your field today or your profession today, or if you're like me and you've just become really passionate about it and it's not even your profession, you're doing something else, but you're trying to enable better health for other people, either in your personal world or in your professional world, and they have experienced any frustration or you are experiencing frustration on their behalf, this is for you. The Better Nutrition Program is for all of us who realize there's a problem with the current situation. The current situation is not better, and I'm going to explain why. And then I'm going to dive into better nutrition. What is it actually? Why do we need it? I think we all know that, but we'll go through that part very quickly. What is it? And then how can we help people get it? And that is going to be where we begin what is going to be a fabulous, hopefully long-lasting partnership, because together we are going to help you help more people get better results. And I am just so excited to have you here today. I want to mention that at the bottom of a lot of these slides, you'll see the text Better Nutrition, all caps, to 44222. It doesn't have to be all caps, but that is one of our free guides, and it's my favorite free guide because it is the Better Nutrition Guide. It explains better nutrition. So it's one that I offer to you, and I offer also that you invite any of your clients, patients, friends, colleagues, your kids' teachers, your teachers, to go ahead and text to get that free guide too. Okay, the current situation is not better. The good news is today, a lot of people, we have an awareness of nutrition, of how important nutrition is. But I've assessed also that there's a lot of rightness. There's a lot of, I know what nutrition is, or I even know what better nutrition is, and it's communication of that piece. But the unfortunate part is it's not leading to better results for most, for the people that we are trying to help, for the people that are seeking our help. And so what it is leading to, unfortunately, is what I call infobesity. Infobesity, very specifically chosen to be info plus obesity, that's because it shares a lot with the disease of obesity. Obesity is the disease of excess fat, but it doesn't mean that fat is a problem. In fact, fat is important in our bodies, right? And taking in fats is important in our body. There's some fats that are essential that we have to get in because our body can't make them. And there are others that we like to get in. And if we get them in small doses, we're going to be fine with that. But like like anything, too much of anything, too much information, too much fat is going to cause health problems. And it is causing health problems. The amount of nutrition information that people are taking in is impacting their health. And that we have to stop that. And we have to be a part of stopping that, especially if we are someone who is engaging with them on topics related to their health. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. It's also leading to decision fatigue. I mean, I describe all the time like that. Okay, like I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. I'm going to get in a good, pre-workout, have something before my workout. I want to have my coffee to get the day started, and I'm going to have, oats with some cacao nibs and some nuts and seeds, and I'm going to put a little cinnamon in there, and I'm ready to go. Oh, wait, didn't I just hear that I shouldn't be having oats? Ooh, some of the cacao may not be good for me. Ooh, should I? And we start unraveling. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to go paleo. Today's going to be paleo. I'm going to do wild salmon I'm going to just wrap it around some avocado. Sounds totally delicious. Better nutrition, better be delicious. I'm going to have that for breakfast. You go into the fridge and you're like, well, I have wild salmon, but I forgot that I ate the avocado on my salad last night. So I'm just going to have wild salmon. Wild salmon for breakfast? Really? Ugh. By itself, not so much. Not so tasty. You know what? I'm just going to have coffee out the door. And then at about 10 a.m., I ended up with a donut. And that is what is happening to us. And that's like, the morning, there's so many things going on, or we could easily have inserted the evening or the middle of the afternoon. We've got too much information, and it's leading to decision fatigue, and we're frustrated and we're stressed. And so it's increasing our stress, and it's creating a lot of stopping and starting, like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to throw in the towel. I'm going to do Whole30, right? All right, I'm going to stop Whole30, and now I'm going to go on and I'm going to try this new paleo vegan plan, or I'm going to, it's all about alkaline formers. I'm going to try that. Stop, start, stress, frustration, failure. And it's really important for us to understand that the mindset of most people who are seeking our help today is failure on some level as it's associated with their health. Maybe there's someone who feels like they've been eating right and exercising. Maybe they're like me, and why am I not getting the results? Maybe there's someone who had been doing that and has had a disease, has been diagnosed with a disease. Maybe they literally have no idea what to do. They feel like they are doing everything bad. They think that they are a health hot mess. They are dominated by failure, and this is the only area in their life where they feel like a failure. We all know those individuals. We have to offer them better. The good news is there is something better. What else is not better? The tools that we have. This is my mission. This is where together we will change the game. Whether we're talking about my plate, I'll talk to you in a moment about why it's important to flex our muscle better, our body mass index, the recommendation of how many glasses of water we get in the day, the tools that we have, how to assess your protein, MyFitnessPal, looking at the macros. The tools that we have today are not better. Well, until now. But the tools that we've been using, my plate is like a recommendation for a carbohydrate bomb, like an overload, right? First of all, dairy is not a food group. We don't from dairy delivers us carbohydrates, proteins, it can deliver us fats, and gives us calcium. But do we need dairy? No, we need those nutrients, right? So if dairy is going to be part of your plan, you want to choose better dairy, and you want to make sure that you're accounting for the fact that you're getting in those nutrients. But my plate, most people, if they tried my plate, would end up overweight and or dealing with diabetes, or their diabetes would be worsened. And guess what we have in this country? That's what we have. And the reason is if you look at my plate, you've got dairy, you've got a great space for a grain, you've got space for a fruit, you've got space for a vegetable, which when people in this country, the majority of people from consuming vegetable, 9 times out of 10, they're choosing a starchy vegetable. So it's another carbohydrate. And then their protein could be a carbohydrate, but unlikely it's not, because we've taught people that they have to have protein, that their protein needs need to come from, an animal protein. So it's carbohydrate with a lot of protein, with space for an animal protein, no mention of healthy fats, no mention of, are you getting in any magnesium as a counterbalance to the calcium that you would be getting in from the dairy, et cetera, right? Are you getting in enough water to balance out the fiber that you should be getting in if you're making better food choices within that my plate? So that brings me to flexing your muscle. What tools are we're just overtly missing? What if I asked you right now to flex your muscle? Make a bicep. Now, what if I told you that for the next 29 minutes while I go on, you're going to hold that bicep? You know what? You might even say you're in such good shape. I can do that, Ashley. I could even hold 2 biceps. But what I will tell you is it is not better for your body to do that. And yet we are a country walking around flexing our biceps. And I'm not talking about in the good or the funny way, like look over there, like the funny, Venice Beach, I'm flexing my muscle. I am talking about the fact that we are existing in a state of stress, which is a state of flexed, of tense, of contracted muscles. And a big part of that is because when stress happens, which is going to happen as we encounter it in our day, that's when calcium comes and crosses into the cell membrane to create that contraction, right? Really important. It helps our hearts contract. It helps our digestive tracts contract. It helps us hyper focus if we're trying to, do something very intensely. It helps us focus and divert attention from what isn't needed right now. But if we stay in that state and we don't relax it, we don't turn off the stress, we end up with disease. We end up burnt out and with diseases of burnt out systems. And that's what we have. That's why stress is a problem, my friends, not because stress, something that the body is physiologically designed to do, cannot be a problem. Not turning it off, not fully using that system is the problem. And so that's why one of the tools that we have to have is one that checks to see if our calcium is our total calcium is in balance with our total magnesium, so that we're having more of that muscle. As much as we're contracting and flexing our muscle, we're turning it off. Body mass index. Could there be a worse measure of quote unquote health or even of healthy weight? We know that somebody could be overweight or obese and have a very low a very low body fat mass, namely our professional athletes, our awesome military who are out there fighting for us and are in such great shape. For any of us that are working really hard at that part, we need to measure body composition. We shouldn't be looking at body mass index, weight for height as a factor and as a sole factor. It was important at a time we needed something simple. But because we have something simple, we're getting simply bad results. And water glasses, drink 8 glasses of water, or tell somebody their body's 70% water and we need to get in the water, but they're not doing it. Why aren't we telling them that water is the best escort service? Why aren't we teaching them that water can be found in our fruits and vegetables, that in order for water to get inside the cells, we need potassium? When we tell people that and we explain it and they make those choices, guess what? The nutrients that they're taking in actually now get where they're supposed to go. I don't tell people they should get water in because your body is X% water. I tell people they should get water in because nothing else that you're doing nutritionally matters unless water is taking the stuff where it needs to go or is removing the stuff that doesn't belong as part of our elimination. So we need better tools. And there are a lot of tools that are out there, but there are also a lot of plans. There are ones that help people just enter in real quickly. What's your age? Are you a woman 24 to 25 to 45? Great. So if you gave me 25 women aged 25 to 45, they unlikely have nothing in common with each other from a nutrition standpoint, or pockets of them may. But, for example, myself, I still fit into that range. And I may have more in common with a 19-year-old nutritionally, or I might have more in common with a 55-year-old, right? So it really depends. And while our genetics are important, and I love that we're discovering all this stuff from a genetic standpoint, your genetics mean nothing, nothing to your body. Do you hear me? Triple, nothing. If your body right now is not working better. Sure, it can help you understand if your body is caffeine sensitive or if you have a greater risk of developing a certain disease. But if you're not pooping, that stuff doesn't matter. If you're not digesting and absorbing your food, if your body doesn't have enough magnesium to turn off stress, it doesn't matter if you're predisposed to depression or not, right? We need to make sure that we're understanding what our body gets today, its environment, its health today, to understand how it could be better. And also plans that have worked for someone else. You hopefully wouldn't just grab somebody's prescription medication and start taking it. Why would we grab somebody's plan and start taking it? So what all of this is leading to, bad tools, other people's plans or less good plans, all of this, no wonder we're not getting good results. We have a lot of initiative. We are interested, we are spending money, we're spending time, we're spending emotions. You guys have seen it, whether you're in the gym or the patient walking in the door, or you're talking to a colleague, or you're talking to a friend. We are investing and we're trying things, but we're guessing. We're not assessing. We're getting hit or miss results. when we don't know why we're getting those results, we can't keep doing the things that are actually working for us, and we can't start adding and doing other things better. And then we blame. We blame ourselves first. We must be failures, but we also then blame that diet, right? Or we blame the person that told us about that diet. Hello, that's bad for our businesses. So in order to get better, we have to have better tools, and we have to start using them. And beginning with that is the tool of having the same lexicon. We have to use the same definitions and understanding. There's no more important place than you can start with your client than by making sure that they understand what you mean when you use a word. If you say, I want to see your food journal, are they putting supplements in there? Are they putting beverages in there? Because what goes in and on your body most often is going to impact your health. Most people are taking their medications and their supplements more often than they're having the same food, unless maybe it's their coffee, right? So we have to remember that part. We have to define it that way. We have to say to someone, you know what? I'm going to talk to you about your nutrition, which is really about what goes in and on your body most often. The good news, I don't care if you have movie popcorn like once a month, right? That's not most often. But if you're having movie popcorn or microwave popcorn every day or every week, we got to talk about that. Better nutrition is going to be the vehicle. It is not the end result of what we want. We all want better health. If we have it, we want to keep it. And if we don't have it, we want to get it. But we all want that better health, right? And better nutrition is our vehicle. So that's what we want to focus on. We never want to tell someone at the end of the day of working with me, you're going to have better nutrition. Because quite honestly, if any of us could eat whatever we want, not have good nutrition, even have crappy nutrition, and keep better health, we would do that, right? So at the end of the day, we have to understand that better nutrition is a tool. Better nutrition is a tool. We need to have better nutrition tools. Better nutrition is about giving your body the nutrients it needs while avoiding ingredients that irritate, overwhelm, and disrupt its efforts. It is like putting gas in the gas tank and also, by the way, not lighting a match nearby, right? We can't do one or the other. We have to be looking at both. We cannot be in the area of saying because something has more calcium, more antioxidants, more of this, that it is better. More is not better. The question mark is it an ingredient? Is it a nutrient that your body needs right now? And is it coming to it in a way that is not going to irritate, overwhelm, and disrupt its efforts? Better nutrition, and when you have your clients or when you yourself take the Better Nutrition quiz, you will discover better nutrition is made up of these 9 things. So your score is going to depend on how well you're doing in these 9 areas. It better be delicious, because if it's not, you're going to go looking for something that is. It better be better and not perfect, because there is no perfect. There is no perfect diet. There is no perfect nutrition. Your body is always striving for that balance, but it's never quite achieving that balance. And so what you always want to be thinking about is, where have I come from and where do I want to go? And that's also leading into number 3. It better be based on you today. It better be based on who you are in the past. So did I have 3 kids? Have I been on medications? Was I sick as a child? Did I fall and break my ankle? And as a result, I've always had a weird thing going on in my back, which, oh, by the way, is going to infect my digestion. And probably if I have neck pain, we need to understand those things. And as a result, then your nutrition plan is your better nutrition plan. And it better be doable, because if it's not, if I give you recipes and tell you to spend time in the kitchen and you tell me you don't have a kitchen, we are not helping you. It is not your better nutrition plan. It better be plant-based, because there are nutrients in plants. They're called phytonutrients, plant nutrients, that animals, and yes, we humans are animals, that we need for our better health. And when we eat an animal as a way to get to the health that they got from a plant, number 1, it's not very efficient. And number 2, we're eating how their body used those plants. We're not getting the benefit of those nutrients from the plant. So better be plant-based. You can, of course, if you choose to accessorize with animal, then it needs to be a better quality accessory, which takes me into better quality. You have to give the body what is not going to irritate, overwhelm, and disrupt it. You need to give it what it recognizes, what it knows what to do with. If you stick maple syrup in your gas tank and you expect the car to run, yes, it's a thick liquid, but it's not going to run the way that if you put unleaded gasoline in there, right? You need to give it better quantity. If you give it too much at one time, it's overwhelmed. If you give it too much at one time, it tucks stuff away because it just doesn't want to deal with it right now. Hello, fat storage. We need to be giving it better quantities and better nutrient balance. And really here I'm talking about the macronutrients and those phytonutrients. We need to make sure we're giving it carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats, and non-starchy vegetables in balance. We want to give them, instead of having 100 calories and focusing on a calorie amount, we want to know are some of those calories from carbohydrates, some from protein, some from fats, some from non-starchy vegetables. Because if you use the car analogy, carbs are like gas. Engine oil is fats are like the engine oil. Protein, like air in the tires. We need to have it all for that car to run better. And guess what? We are not a street car. We are a race car. We are a race car, and that means better frequency. We need to pit stop more often. And the good news is if we pit stop more often, if we're reducing our quantity for having a better quantity amount, but we're eating more often, we're not going to be hangry. The 9 betters of better nutrition. And one of the things that we can do with the quiz is see where we are on that path to getting better, right? How close are you to 9? And with your clients, how you may perceive, that there are 2 or 3. They may perceive that they're a 7 or an 8. If you just ask them on a scale of 1 to 9, how is your better nutrition? Your answer and their answer may differ. Take the quiz with them. Go through it. Don't guess. Assess. What are they doing better on? What needs work? Okay, to wrap it up, better nutrition. Your body doesn't need paleo or vegan or pegan or alkaline forming or gluten-free. It could need to be gluten-free, but it doesn't need these diets. What your body needs is a better amount, better quality nutrients in better balance more often. And that, my friends, is what a better nutrition plan delivers. So just stopping right here, using the better nutrition plan, the tool that we have that's available for you to get and use with your clients, that's in all of the nutrition packages that we can do as workshops for any of your groups. If we build your better nutrition plan, if we make it Tommy's paleo and Sally's vegan and Stacy's pegan, the important part there is Tommy, Sally, and Stacy, not paleo, vegan, and pegan. And we need to make sure that we're building their better nutrition plan. So when it comes to why this is so important is that we really don't have, until now, we haven't had great assessments. What we need, a lot of the assessments that are out there could just be, have somebody do a food journal, bring it in. Maybe we do their BMI when they come in. We take their height for weight and we find out are they male or female, right? We all know that's not a good assessment. Any of us would do better. But those assessments do definitely exist, and that's what a lot of our clients have been doing in the past. In an okay space, we might try harder. We might ask them, are you taking any medications? Do you have any preferences? Anything that you're following nutritionally that, I should know about? It still isn't better. What needs to be better from a better nutrition assessment is you have to take all of these things into account. It's what goes in and on the body most often, and it's understanding who their body is today, where they want their body to be, and it's who they are, what their body was in the past, their history. It's understanding their lifestyle as well as their preferences. They may prefer not to have dairy, but their lifestyle might be one where they're eating out at dinners and they're embarrassed to say, I don't want to have that cream-based soup. We've got to know more so that we can help them do better. So a better nutrition assessment needs to do all of this. And it could feel very overwhelming. And until today, or until you were introduced to the Better Nutrition Program, you might have thought this doesn't exist. Well, guess what? It did not exist. It did not exist for me when I got my dietitian credentials. This has been what I have had to do for 20 years to help figure out what my colleagues who are doing amazing work as well, what we have had to do. And I am the first person to ever put it in one place for you to use, so that regardless of your credentials, regardless of your scope of practice, you can help your patient, you can help your client, you can help your colleague, you can help, if you are an influencer, somebody who is interacting with you and that you are never going to meet in person or have it, you can help them do better assessments. When they assess better and when they share that information with their healthcare practitioners, they get better results. You get the credit for it. This is how we all get better. Awesome sauce. Okay, so what does it look like? I was mentioning that the Better Nutrition Journal, or maybe I didn't, I intended to before. The number one, the best thing that we can be doing is actually getting information, right? So the number one, the base assessment that I had to work on is a food journal. The food journals were all bad tools because at best they asked about maybe food and beverages, right? Maybe even there it's like a MyFitnessPal or something today where they're actually breaking it down into macros and you can see percents of minerals and you can even see at the different times. You can see so much that's like totally infobesity inducing for me. But it isn't helping us do the assessment that we were talking about on the last page, 2 pages back. It isn't helping us with all of these pieces. It isn't helping us if we go back and understand, am I getting in a better amount of better quality nutrients in a better balance more often? This is how we do it, right? It isn't helping us understand if there's something interfering with the nutrition. They might be getting in the nutrition, but is there something that's interfering with it, right? Or is it not getting where it needs to go? So we need to ask, how are you feeling when you woke up? And this is on a typical day in the Better Nutrition Journal. We have the typical day, the not so typical day, and the play day. Emphasis on explaining if somebody doesn't know what to write in the play day or is leaving that one blank, there's a great conversation you can have with them. We need a play day, right? And I have one built in one a week into the Better Nutrition Journal. When we outline that there are 5 nutrition pit stops and we don't say, did you have 3 meals and 2 snacks? We help them understand the difference between a meal and a snack and a pit stop. The word meals and snacks, they've come to mean so many things, right? We just want to know, what are you eating and drinking? And are you pit stopping more often? And then we look within there and we can judge using the Better Nutrition Plan. How are we doing from a food standpoint and a beverage standpoint? We can understand if your food if you put here that you were having a bunch of food and then your beverage was a smoothie, we can understand that you're not seeing that beverage, that the smoothie is actually not while it is a liquid nutrition, it's not actually something that's separate. It should be a part of your total nutrition that we're assessing for there. We need to come over and look at, what are we popping? Medication, supplements, right? Somebody thought this said, I pooped, yay or nay, right? No, it's like, that could be too. Like, find out if they're going. We have the whole digestive evaluation for that one. So important. And then here it's really important to understand their perspective. Remember, this is about how the person who is doing this perceives how they were. Because there might be somebody who says they moved all day, right? And this helps you understand if they are moving all day, what they believe what that means to them. Likewise, the same thing if they feel that they killed it, from an exercise standpoint. I'm pausing for a second. We may have an audio issue. Let me just see. Okay, great. We are back. Sorry, I think we had a momentary audio issue. So we've got the protein evaluation. I thought this one was a great one to go through because it's just one of the worst tools that are out there today. All the time I see this, like, multiply your body weight times 0.36 to get the grams of protein in the day. Okay, go. These are good sources of protein. Go get it. Yep. Some people say broccoli, great source of protein. Nope, it has amino acids, but it's not going to be your sole source of protein. All of these things together can be sources of protein, but maybe this is the protein that you're getting in, and maybe you're getting in 4 servings of that, and that's not going to be better. Maybe it's in your bar, it's in your cereal, it's in your shake that you're having. Not better, right? So what we actually need to do is first understand, after we've taken that and done that equation, which is valuable, we then need to understand, based on your lifestyle, your health, what's going on. Do we need to add grams to it, or do we need to stay at that number? Do we maybe even need to subtract? What's the range that we're going to offer? And then, oh, by the way, we never tell someone what they're supposed to consume in the day. A number of grams in the day, a number of ounces of water in the day, a number of grams of fiber in the day. No. We spread it out. Remember, we don't want to give the body too much at one time, and we want to make sure that the body is getting the benefits of those nutrients at regular intervals throughout the day. And then we have to explain, where your protein comes from is really important because, first of all, we need a diversity of protein. There are a lot of other nutrients that we could get in when we get in our protein. We want diversity there, but we also want to be super clear that protein, while it builds strong muscles, it's a communication tool in our body. It's impacting our enzymes, our hormones, the communication. If it is doing that, then we need to make sure we have better sources. Otherwise, we have garbled communication. That's not better. So what you would do is you would have your client do this assessment, this protein assessment, and they can send, at the end, they will get their, what their answers were, and they'll also get the recommendations based on their answers, and then they can email that over to you, and you guys can have a conversation. And oh, by the way, you can also become a better health enabler on the team, on their healthcare team, by sharing that information with their doctor if they're open to it, sharing that information with their therapist if they're open to it, sharing that information with me, their dietitian, if they're open to it, right? So that we can all be working off the same page and getting better results, which is we're all driving towards the same thing, that better outcome for our patient. Now, this is really important. Once we've done that, whether we do the journal evaluation, whether we do the better nutrition plan, whether we do the protein evaluation, there are two different paths that we can go on. And almost everyone jumps to this path. So what needs attention? What should we start doing? And I will tell you, after 20 years of training in this and of teaching people why it's so important to start with keep what's working, I do this all the time. I start right in, I see somebody who isn't doing well from a nutrient balance standpoint. I want to fix them. I've got a fix for them. And I start in on telling them how they can do better nutrient balance. And I have made a mistake. I have missed a huge opportunity. And why is that? I don't just want to help people feel better, like, oh, you're already doing things that are working, yay you, pat on the back. Oh, by the way, they totally need that because they feel like a complete failure, right? We were talking about that. And when I say they in quotes, I am talking about me because I have been this person, and I think so many of us have been this person. But the reality is that when we take the time and the hard work to actually identify what is working, because so many people, they struggle here. I give you a whole page and so many people are like, well, I guess, I guess it was a good thing that I ate breakfast today, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I could have listed 12 things that you're doing that's working here, right? And oftentimes I am the one that lists those 12 things. But when we do that, we then ask, why? How are you doing that? And think of it for yourself. What is something that you are committed to? Maybe you're committed to getting in your workouts and you're really good at that and you get in your workouts often and you vary the workouts and you do the workouts that are right for your body. How? Do you do an assessment on that part? Did you get some education? Did you work with someone? Like, what are the reasons that help you do that? Closer to home on the nutrition front, I'll share an example of a client of mine who she needed to take vitamin D. Her vitamin D levels were very, very low. She is a cancer survivor. We wanted her to be a cancer thriver. Vitamin D levels are indicative or linked to better and healthy higher, better, healthy vitamin D levels are linked to a decreased risk in a return of cancer. So that part is a real win. We were working on her bone density. We were working on her metabolism, all these things that I told her vitamin D is critical for, right? And I even said, let's do it in a supplement form because it is almost impossible to get enough of it, even to get your baseline RDA met through food. I don't want you drinking 8 glasses of milk. I'm not going to have you eat, you're not somebody who's eating wild salmon every single day. It's really hard to get that vitamin D, and the amount of mushrooms you would have to eat, you would literally be, every meal would be all mushrooms, right? And so you're not getting that in. So let's get your vitamin D in. Okay, all right, but she's already told me she hasn't been doing it. I haven't shared, she knows she needs to do it and she's not doing it. So how do we get that in? Well, I asked her, what's something from a health standpoint that you do all the time? Well, I take my birth control pill. Oh, why is that? Well, I don't want to get pregnant and I made a commitment, so I'm taking my birth control pill. All right. How do you remember to take your birth control pill? Well, I just told you. I know exactly why. I don't want to get pregnant. I'm going to take it every day. I take it with me everywhere. It's in this packet. It's got 7 days on there. I know, every day that I've taken it, blah, blah, blah. Guess what we did? She has her 7-day packet of vitamin D. She takes it when she takes her birth control pill. She hasn't missed it. The levels are going up. We're working on other things as well. That is why it's so important to start with what's working. Then you get to what needs attention. And then when you identify, and of course, there's going to be a laundry list here. People are so good at identifying what needs attention. One of my favorite parts about this is they actually will create lists here and say they're doing things bad and it needs attention that they have actually proven they are doing well or better on from the other evaluations, right? And so then I have to go through and be like, so this, no, you're actually doing okay on this one, so let's reduce the list. And then we group them together. You know, if your energy is crashing and you're eating, or if you're trying to reduce the amount of coffee that you have in the morning, but you're not sleeping well, or if you notice that you're just crazy craving sugar all throughout the day, especially 3 o'clock, and you're not sleeping well, or if it's really hard for you to get up in the morning and not have the donut or hit the drive-through and actually have a healthy breakfast because you're not sleeping well, you'll notice a theme. We should work on your sleep first. What are the factors that impact sleep? So that would be one that we pick. But we're not just going to circle it. We're going to then come over and define, how can I act better more often? And that acting better, not perfect, more often is going to come from what we learned in the last section about what they're already doing better. And I gave you some examples here just to go through of how people are incorporating in, and how extensively it is. Like, it's okay, I want to have a glass of wine before dinner, but it looks like I can't have this on the plan. I'm like, oh no, you can have wine, but then let's skip your dessert, right? If it's one of your days on and you're trying, and you're having a dessert, and we go through those different pieces. But if you want to have one or two, or if you want to have more than one, then it has to be on occasion. And we need to go through how we're going to balance that and make sure you get in the water. We also have the free wine guide for you. So let me offer that to you if you want to text wine 123 to 44222. And suddenly they're understanding that they have better tools to get better results. If they know how to do it, first of all, they can be held accountable. And second of all, they can do better. And we don't just give them one way of how, we give them several ways of how. And that's why I have a ton of different tools in a ton of different ways. In our freebie section on the website, we have webinars, we have podcasts, we have my Ashley Koff approved. What products do I approve? We have all the recipe section. And oh, by the way, if you are somebody who wants to submit a recipe for us to review and then we'd be able to share it, we would love that. We also have freebies like the wine guide, like the scale, so that they can do the better scale. So it's the better body composition guide. We have so many different free tools to help people in a diversity, to learn in a bunch of different ways, right? You can share this webinar with them, or you can share the one that's more for the patient or the client or whatever. You can invite them to join me on, I'm live in office hours. We have a private Facebook group. If you have a private Facebook group, invite us in and we'll talk about better nutrition. And then we have our nutrition packages. And these are the things that you can be selling, that you can be using and selling to your patients, so that together, when you guys use that package, you are able to help them get better results. So they would do, and it goes step by step what you're supposed to do. Start with the Better Nutrition Journal, or start with the digestive evaluation. I explained to you this one works like the protein evaluation I was showing you before. And then they include bonuses, where there might be a menu in there, or there might be something for them to read, or a challenge that you can do. The only one that involves interaction with us is going to be the supplement package, which is the one that they would then submit by email their supplements and their food journal, so that then myself and my team can be doing that evaluation. You guys, I'm so honored that you would spend this time with me, and I hope that if I've done one thing today, it has helped you to understand that there is a better way. There are better tools, and it's an opportunity for us. I'm always taken by that phrase, like, work smarter, not harder. It might frustrate the heck out of me, especially like when my yoga instructor used it in class the other day, and I was like, you know what? I was feeling pretty good about myself because I was doing this. And yes, I'm working really hard in class, and she's like, hey, work smarter. What if you did it this way? And I was like, oh, that actually is really interesting, but I'm also noticing that it requires a lot of things that I haven't been using well. And I learned, right? And so the Better Nutrition Tools, my mission is to really change how hard people are working to get their better health powered by better nutrition. When we have better tools, it is easier, smarter, and better to be able, it is a way for us to work easier, and for us to work smarter, and for us to work better to get those better results. So I thank you, and I am thrilled to have you. I hope that you have joined as an affiliate, and that's why you're getting this. And if you haven't, head on over to the site and become an affiliate. There is no minimum. It's a partnership. The whole goal is for us to help you power your business, power your passion with better nutrition, using better nutrition tools. All right, take care and have a wonderful week wherever this finds you.